Happy May Day. I've just finished writing my newsletter for May, so I'm now going to be reading it to you. Let's get going with this. Okay, I've titled it 4 Planets Retrograde, Face Your Truth. If you feel you are in a continuing loop of frustration, a feeling of limbo, demotivated, or running on a treadmill and getting nowhere fast as life rushes ahead of you, leaving you behind, you are feeling the influence of our 4 slowest moving planets in our solar system, all either stationary or moving very slowly as they turn retrograde. When Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, who is at the moment in his station, and Pluto are slow and ready to retrace their past steps, matters that have been pushed aside, ignored, or lingering in the background could emerge and certainly require attention. We may even experience the reoccurrence of past unresolved issues. These current matters that have been lingering unattended to will come to a head. You will have no option but to face them. You don't really have a conscious choice. A transit from a retrograde planet demands attention, so lingering matters can no longer be swept under the proverbial carpet. All will inevitably be addressed. Many of us may already know what deep-seated issues we are dealing with, or in some cases trying to hide away from. Ignoring the issues or hiding from your own truth will no longer serve you. The time for ending and transforming the structure of your life and love is right here, right now. Now, Pluto carries tremendous power. It is not a planet with a mild or subtle influence. The effects of a Pluto transit can be seen and felt very clearly. We can expect death and decay, ranging from a full-blown breaking down of a career, relationship, business, or even something as material as your car giving up the ghost. We are dealing with a full-scale destruction for renewal when Pluto is retrograde as it is now, especially if it makes contact with one or more of your planets. Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, the sign that is the author of structure. Weak structures we have put into place will crumble and just fall, as we are seeing the collapse of structures throughout the world. We're seeing landslides, earthquakes, as well as fissures coming out from seemingly nowhere. Buildings and bridges start to crumble and fall as Pluto retrogrades and destroys any weaknesses or quick fixes that have been done in the past. Saturn has just moved into his retrograde cycle. He too is working with Pluto, both in Capricorn, both breaking down weak, unstructured areas of our life. This can be challenging, as this is a period where whatever matters, whatever is unstable, what we are avoiding will break down, and we will have to do the work to bring structure back into our lives to face the truth. Once you have faced and dealt with the restructuring these 2 planets are forcing you to work on, you will feel secure and remarkably free to move on with newly acquired wisdom and the strength to grow from what you have experienced. Let's look at the Jupiter retrograde. A big, expansive energy, especially as this is in Sagittarius and expansive by nature. Normally a Jupiter retrograde is one of the best retrogrades to deal with. Jupiter retrograde will bring about a re-evaluation of how you are growing or where you are expanding in your life. This is a good thing, as you can plug up any weakness, and this in turn will strengthen your growth. So why do you ask, has this Jupiter retrograde been so difficult? Sadly, Jupiter went retrograde into his station and stopped moving completely on a very malefic fixed star called Lisa, the star found in the sting of the scorpions and the Scorpio's tail. It is known to bring about desperate, immoral, and dangerous situations. It is also connected with acid poison, which in today's term can be anything from catching a cold from others, starting a fire, or terror attacks, in some cases some food poisoning. Just a toxic energy. It has affected our planet. If it has affected any planet in your chart, this situation will be harsh and you will need to deal with it, as the effects may last for a few months, improving gradually. Yep, this Jupiter retrograde has brought about a lot of religious tension. Ironically, destruction of places of worship such as the Notre Dame's Cathedral fire, etc. We are hearing stories where the structure of churches collapse and the emergence of far too many terror attacks from opposing radical forces are killing way too many innocent worshippers. With the retrograde planets, these vulnerable weak points have come to light. Now is the time where plans of actions are being discussed and prevention will be put into place. Obviously, they've been a place of weakness for a while and ignored, and the fear is there, but nobody does anything about it. Sort of, let's not talk about the pink elephant in the room situation. Anyway, back to the newsletter. Let's look at Neptune, who is stationed in Pisces. Neptune is the greatest solvent in the sky and would dissolve any ideals or half-truths we are contemplating. Neptune causes life to become unclear and uncertain, which can be very discouraging. Neptune can dissolve structures Saturn is desperately trying to build, whilst Neptune chips away at all that is not stable. With both Saturn and Neptune retrograde at the same time, we are sure to experience the dissolution of our reality and made to see the truth about the validity of our dreams and visions. At a time like this, we can feel insecure and fearful about the future. This is a time where we really do need to trust ourselves to make the brave decisions and see them through. Any clear decision we need to make regarding our life and future are best made when these 4 planets all complete this retrograde cycle. We are cautioned in this period to hold back on impulsive decisions, to carefully research any areas in life we feel need attention before going ahead with decisions, leaving us vulnerable and full of regrets. This does not mean that life comes to a fearful stop. No, it means we need to face the truth of matters in our life, make the correct decisions, and carefully build a new foundation from which we can grow. It is a busy and uncertain time as we face the inevitable and make secure plans for the near future. During this time, we may find ourselves revisiting areas of our past or readdressing a project we had to put on hold. Perhaps now is the time to reevaluate its validity and adapt it to our current environment. What the rest of this year is actually showing us mere beings is basically how badly we have messed up our lives, our planet, and the gifts it has to offer us. It is time for retribution and therefore positive reaction to repair the damage we have inflicted, causing global warming, pollution, disease, and a general decay of a once stunning world. Now is the time we face the hard truth of what went before and make a positive change to repair and prevent further decay. Of course, this will come up in our own environment as well, in our own lives. Now, to make this giant leap and see the positive results will be incredibly empowering. We have to do it. As these planets and their retrograde cycles are long and slow in motion, it is not a shocking, unexperienced new experience we are faced with, but rather a realization of what we already know, but have not been ready to face. Now, my little bit on medically speaking. Okay, wow, this was heavy stuff. We certainly do not need to suffer from seasonal change colds on top of this month's challenges. So let's look at a blocked sinus. Let's look at blocked sinuses. After all, most of the germs we acquire are through our noses. This is the logical reason why we need to try and keep our virus-infected fingers from entering our nasal cavities. Don't pick your nose. One of the oldest tried and tested methods of prevention is washing out sinuses with warm salty water. Half a teaspoon to a small 250 cup of water. Gargling with the salty emulsion can prevent as well as soothe sore throats. It fights infections as salt has a natural antibacterial as well as anti-inflammatory effect. Salt can also help break down the protein bonds in mucus, making it more viscous and easier to move. If you're going to use salt rinses, remember to avoid sinus over-the-counter medications that dry up your mucus, as the mixture of the two could result in a thick, gluey situation. To relieve pressure, this is interesting, of blocked sinuses, put your tongue on the top of your mouth. Then place your thumb between your eyebrows and apply pressure for 20 seconds. This massages your vomer bone, allowing your sinuses to drain in many cases. The other method to help with sinus or blocked nose is apple cider vinegar. Drinking a teaspoon 3 times a day can soften the protein bonds in mucus and speed up the healing process. If this is not palatable, then heap up half a portion of apple cider vinegar to half water and inhale the steam. This is very soothing and will help drainage as well as creating an antibacterial barrier in your mucous membranes. Now with these remedies, you can actually find time to smell the roses. A tough month, but will bring strength and a feeling of achievement as you face it with an open mind. Cheerio, and I'll chat about the happenings next month. See you in June. Bye.